Hi everyone, Shirtlad here. This is a little preface before the episode. Long story short, I messed up in a few departments, like not making sure the recorded audio is in the correct quality and playing a game that required a larger degree of focus and keyboard tapping, which resulted in me getting a few things mixed up, stretching the dead air and added clicking noises to the background as well. While this wasn't the rockiest of starts, I'll try rectifying such issues in the later installments. Thank you for your understanding. Let's start then. Alright, welcome to the Overlay Bar. It's debut episode to be precise. Joining me will be my friend who makes music.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
So, feel free to introduce yourself and stuff that you make.
Yeah, my name is Matthew, and I suppose what can I say? I'm a friend of yours, and yeah, I do music. I make music. I play music and video games and stuff. Yeah, a bit of everything, I suppose.
Alright, what kind of music do you make? I mean, I do know, but the fellas watching probably don't.
Yeah, well,
So, feel free to boast about your creative endeavors.
I started listening to music when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 12, and I remember it was the ballad, the rock ballad first because I knew the song because of my dad and stuff, and then as I got older, I got into metal and more extreme kind of stuff, and now I'm just exploring other genres too, and I guess that's what is reflecting in my music that I'm trying to create as well. It's mostly various styles of metal and some inspiration taken from whether it's hip hop or other genres as well, I suppose. Yeah.
Here's a little preview of his music.
Standing on the soil that'll bury us later. Fear sinking at a shell stand like pain. People are discussed from a constant pain. Better become buddies wished away by the rain.
If it's something that you're interested in, I'll be leaving links to his various channels in the description, as well as in the end of the video. Do you make these songs alone, or just is it a group effort?
Yeah, well, I've tried to play with various people. Right now, I'm kind of in a band with three other guys, one of which is my brother. But that's and I'm a drummer there. But like, I don't know, we don't even have a name yet. We're just trying to get it all together, play covers, and create our own stuff. Then, but the songs I make myself as within the project that's called Crooked Paradise. That's just me. Yeah. I basically lay down the lyrics and then I try, or I start from the guitar and then I try to record or program all the instruments and get down the singing and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, ma- well, mostly this channel is a one-man operation too.
Yeah,
So,
I know that, and I think it's great when you have something that you create on your own that you can just shape to be whatever you want
yes, it has
and
that
create your way.
DIY
It's
feeling.
great. Yeah.
So, where do you draw your inspirations when you go like making music?
Like when I make music, I think mostly the inspiration comes from either music itself, like listening to something. I listen to a lot of music every day because I guess that's just a big part of my life, whether it's in school when I'm bored or literally anywhere when I don't need to hear the other world. I would just listen to music, and sometimes the inspiration just comes from something interesting that you listen to. I remember one time I listened to psychedelic rock or whatever that was, and what came from that was entirely different. But it's just that someone else's creative output gives you the impulse to start writing or doing something. And also, I think lyrically, it's just emotions. You know, when you feel a certain way, it can inspire you to write, even if you feel really bad or like down or anything. You can just it can help you to put the feelings and everything into words and create lyrics and stuff like that, or even music. Yeah,
So technically, you could say that the music can also be perceived as a perspective of sorts, an outlook.
yeah. It's always a perspective on something, whether that's like a real thing or it's just in your head. But I think music is kind of the bridge between things that are real and things that we can't explain with words, and that's what music is for, you know.
Yeah, as a piano player, well, I do play piano. Um, well, I used to be self-taught, and I kind of sucked at it. And well, I've been attending the music school for like 3 years, and now I suck less at it. So, I mean, personally, I kind of started with the music whenever I was kind of bored, and
Yeah,
well, there was a piano in my father's house. So what I did was that I just tried, uh, poking the keys, and somehow it didn't sound like shit at times. And then I was like, maybe I'll just learn it.
yeah, that's great. I mean, it's been great watching you progress, that you keep doing it, you know. Like whatever level you're at, it's always nice to be able to get better and to enjoy that process. And I've seen you play, you know, when you started attending the school, and now, and it's a leap forward, and I think that's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, personally, for me, the probably hardest ones, like the hardest songs to play on piano, which I like. I find the sheets, I try to play them, I fail miserably. Well, that sort is mostly the ones where the guitar would be involved, because
Right.
it just ends up being long lines of various chords to imitate a single stroke on the guitar.
Yeah, because like when I listen to rock music, I don't think the piano is involved as much as the guitar. So I guess that's your option. Yeah. But it's still interesting because music can be interpreted in different ways and played on different instruments, and it's still the same musical piece. So yeah, it's great. I think
Yes, I
that you
really
can
like the
you can
variety
try to
too.
do that. Yeah. And what do you think about like playing music? You mentioned like sheet music. Do you also play by ear, or is that something that
No,
you're
I suck
avoiding?
at playing by ear. Anyways, what has been what was the most overwhelming or the most difficult song you've ever attempted to play?
Well, there's loads of songs I've attempted to play and failed basically because I try to pick out songs that help me learn some new techniques and stuff, mostly on the drums, and it just ends up being too difficult sometimes. Like I tried the Schism by Tool. I don't know how that's pronounced. I'm sorry, but yeah,
Excuse
that
me,
was
yeah.
a tough one because they're like alternating between different time divisions, and it's pretty chaotic for like an even intermediate player to learn. And I got through like a part of the song, and then I just struggled through the chorus again. So yeah, so there's songs that I haven't successfully learned, even though I started. And sometimes I just get back to them once I'm feeling more confident and better on the drums, and on the guitar I mostly just learn riffs because I feel like I don't know. I don't have the energy to learn the whole song. I suck at guitar mostly, but I'm trying to nail the techniques that I need to write my own stuff. You know.
Yeah. As for me, I've had a lot of difficulties with the opening of Trigun because
Mhm.
on the piano, like I've looked up the notes, I've looked up the MIDI
Chord.
composition for it,
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
and damn, like even I don't know, even over caffeinated octopus, like an octopus that has had too much coffee, would break a sweat over that because that was like one hand was on one place, second hand was on one place, and the rest of the thing was covered in by some more hands, which was like, are you supposed to conjure them while playing or well?
Yeah, that
Definitely
sounds
keeps the fingers busy.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess that's like another way you can look at music that is great for beginners is that with most music you can just simplify the things you play and it would still sound good. And that's what I did with some songs that I couldn't play at the beginning. So you just play the basics. I suppose it's easier with like rhythmic instruments
Easy to
because
learn how to master,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and you can just, I suppose, like if you got the chord that you can't nail down, you can just play one note, the root note, and then move on from there. But you learn how to play along to the song, and that's good.
Yes, and then there's piano, which is like, no, you don't get to play single key chords. Go play the whole thing. Well, that's what my
Yeah,
teacher
that's pretty.
always tells me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I can't really, slap on the thing that automatically plays the chords with the single key persist. I mean, it would be neat, but in the long run, it would probably screw me over.
Yeah, I mean, for me at least, it's like play whatever you want as long as it sounds good, as long as it keeps you entertained playing music. Everyone finds their own way to do that, to keep practicing, and whatever helps you is good in the long run.
Yep.
Is there any other instrument that you would like to try in the future?
Um, I'm kind of thinking of. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past me, but I am probably a bit too reluctant on that. Probably an accordion. Well, it's basically a pump action piano, so
Yeah, I get that. My dad used to play accordion, and it seems difficult to
I
me.
mean,
But once you know how to play the piano, I suppose it's a reasonable way to go.
yes. So it's basically playing the piano with extra steps. At least I hope so, because
Yeah, you got the buttons on the other side. They're nothing like the piano, I suppose. So yeah, that seems difficult, but interesting. Yeah.
uh, I mean I know how to play the "What Shall We Do with the Drunken Sailor" on a piano, so I'm just a few steps away from doing that. But I think I might just pass up on the accordion thing because I'm already like the piano is already a pretty large thing, and I can very graphically imagine how easy would it be to trip on that thing. Should I have
Yeah,
it
it's
in the
like
room? Yeah.
I suppose piano is a good starting point, but it's difficult. Like some people when they're little kids and they start with a recorder or flute. I don't know if that's the same thing really, but in English. But yeah, I think starting playing a piano or a guitar is nice because you can play along with the chords of the song and you can sing along and basically do anything. Playing drums as the first instrument, you have to play with music absolutely because it's like your only option if you want to begin to understand what the role of the drums within the music itself is. But at the same time, to me, that was interesting when I started playing other instruments. I've had the rhythm. I felt the rhythm, so I just had to learn the other stuff. But I could hit it within the music, so that was a nice thing. Yeah.
Well, that's great. You've probably seen some of my stuff that I make, right?
Yeah, of course.
Uh, are you familiar with the Gundam franchise?
Well, I mean, I watched your video on the franchise,
On
and
the on the
it's
games,
it's an
right?
overwhelming portion of information. Yeah, but it was interesting. Yeah, of course. I mean, I haven't played the games, but yeah, what can I say? I've seen the footage at least.
I mean, they're simple to learn but hard to master. But they have a very very high skill ceiling because you have to kind of it kind of borrows some stuff from the conventional fighting games like neutral game, blocking, attack cancelling, etc. etc. I probably threw some terms at you that you didn't really know, right?
Yeah, I mean, you and I, we have really different opinions on what is easy to learn.
Yeah, but
Game-wise, at least, yeah.
I'd say that the Gundam versus games they're mostly foolproof in terms of controls, but sometimes there's mechanics that aren't really explained in the tutorials, and then you're gonna end up like me and spend about 8 hours trying to find out what a Groby is, how to use it, how to hit stuff with it, and well, and
Yeah,
still
I
mess
mean,
up because I didn't account for the angle.
yeah, from what I've seen from like your video on the controls, it seemed to me like some of the strategies were just basically abusing little glitches or just yeah stuff like that. You know,
Well, I
and it
mean,
gives you extra speed. Although it doesn't make sense to make the move again and again, but why not? Sure.
it's not really about like using the move over and over again. It's a lot. The Gundam versus games are a lot about resource management, positioning, etc., etc. I'd like to say that well, every single of those moves of a unit has its dedicated place, which is pretty good. Like at the first look, you could probably say that the machine guns on the head of the unit are used for literally nothing because they're inaccurate over long ranges. They don't correct angles at a certain radius, etc., and other things. But they're then you learn that it can be used while dodging in some games, and then you open a whole new box of cool things that you can do with them, like intercepting missiles sometimes, or putting pressure on the enemy, and it chains together quite well, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, when I see you play it or anyone who knows what they're doing, it feels like it feels nice to watch. But that's that. I mean, I suck at combos. Like I play FIFA, the only thing that I can do is like cut in and shoot. I don't know combos. I never really played fighting games and
In
stuff like
this
that.
one, the combos aren't really that hard. You don't have to do a pretzel or a half circle or a Z motion to get off a single punch. I'd say that the original the series on which the games are based on is a pretty good one. I mean, I know you are not the type of person that would enjoy stuff like anime, etc., and the more Eastern animation. But
Yeah, no,
if
really.
you're up to it, I'd recommend it because it's more realistic than a lot of mecha animes, and it has it kind of knows how to work with subtlety. It doesn't just write a plot detail on the brick and beat you to the point of unconsciousness with it. It just it's a thing that whenever there's foreshadowing, you don't really see it unless you really know what happens after that. So It's one of the things that I like about it. And the music in it, that one's pretty good. I mean, if you want to, there's like Groovy Duel, which is a very good jazz composition from Gundam Thunderbolt. And
Oh,
there's
just jazz. Yeah, that's interesting.
it's a pretty good watch, though you probably still wouldn't like the animation because, as you've likely mentioned,
Yeah,
it's not really
I
your
mean,
cup of coffee.
it's like, yeah, that's what I would say. Like, nothing but respect to the people who made these and who had to draw, and it's all it looks nice. Nothing against that. I'm not into that. But certainly, I wouldn't expect like jazz music to appear in something like that. Like, given the imagery, I would expect like power metal or something like that. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Maybe gaming as a whole? For example,
So
what's
what
your
else?
favorite PS2 game?
PS2. I mean, I love the PS2 because I basically grew up with it, even though I think it was made way before I was even born. But as for my favorite PS2 game, I would say SSX3. Actually, I played it today on my phone on an emulator, and it's a snowboarding game for those who don't know. And I think it's like the best snowboarding game ever made. It's like arcade style. There is nothing realistic about it. It's way over the top, but it's just awesome. It feels great to play, and I think that's the most important thing in a game, at least for me. So yeah, I would say that. What about you?
For me, it's the old Gundam versus games because, like the first two, the Federation versus Eon and the Gundam versus Zeta Gundam, they do have a sense of weight to an extent. So when you walk around, you feel the weight. When you land from a jump, you feel the weight. And there is a certain sense of elegance in the cumbersomeness. Well, the other one, the Gundam Seed Destiny Rango versus Eft, I kind of like it too because it's a nice blend between the newer ones, which are like much more flashy, much faster, much more high octane, and it still keeps some sense of weight, I'd say, or something like that from the previous games. So basically, you're getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but I can imagine like feeling the weight of the machines. I suppose that they're big in the stories. Yeah, so that's I guess there's an important aspect of these games. For me, it was the same with Crash Bandicoot. Like it was always about how the game felt to play because uh, that also was just like with the spins and the jumps and everything. It, when it feels natural, when it feels like you're the character, I think that's the best. That's the best for the game. That's more important than the graphics and
Yeah,
sometimes even the level
the
design
factor
because you
of
can enjoy
immersion.
it way more.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And as of the current day games, what's your favorite from now?
That's a tricky one. I like the Near Automata game. It's a pretty good game. And Hotline Miami. Yeah, I kind of
Yeah, I
like
heard
the
about that.
spike of difficulty, and at the same time, it had you pull risky moves, desperate dashes. Of course, the liters of red pixels also helped, but I just really liked how it felt, and the
Yeah,
sequel just made it perfect.
that's great.
What games are you looking forward to currently?
Like the ones that are being developed.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I don't
upcoming
even
ones.
know. I'm not like up to date with all the news and everything. I remember really wanting Cyberpunk and then really not wanting that. Yeah, but as of right now, I'm excited for the leaks of GTA 6. Anything related to that, even though I don't have so much faith in Rockstar, given how the remasters or remakes
Yep.
of the trilogy came out. That was pretty disappointing, to be honest, because I love San Andreas. That's also one of my favorite games on the PS2. But but other than that, I don't even know what games are coming out, and honestly, I don't care much right now. I mean, I say I play FIFA. I don't like FIFA. FIFA sucks. It's a stupid game, but I still play it. Yeah. So
So
that's
it's
that.
a sort of guilty pleasure or something like
Yeah,
that.
I shit on that game every time I'm losing and I'm still playing. Yeah.
It's probably the same with me and Borderlands 2 because from what I've heard and from what I've seen, the Borderlands 1 is better in a lot of aspects, but and has far better writing. But I just like how fucking goofy the game is. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to the SD Gundam Battle Alliance game because, well, that is probably my last hope to see a certain robot as a playable unit in more than one game.
Okay, that's cool. If they're still making those games, that's good for you. Yeah.
I mean,
Uh.
I just want to play as it's called Choosroom Gallus in the Gundam lore. Light blue,
Yeah.
doesn't have any thrusters, has one red eye,
Yeah. No.
and it's pretty badass.
Okay. Anything else on your mind?
Oh, well, I was kind of wondering if, let's say, for example, if there was ever a live-action adaptation of Mobile Suit Gundam that didn't completely mess it up like the last two times it was tried, would you give it a shot? I mean, a live-action,
Um,
I don't know.
I mean, for sure, like movies, like an hour and a half, I can do that. But still, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, why not? It's not for me these sort of genres. I don't like fantasy and sci-fi and stuff like that as much as I don't even know, but not that and anime either. But for sure, I mean, if it were a film, I'd have no problem watching the film. Yeah,
You know, I'm
and
kind
even
of.
even even the games. I'm not saying I'm not ever gonna try that, but it's just yeah, I don't have much time for
Yeah, I
other
suppose
games.
I understand.
Yeah. But it definitely some of the things that you mentioned about the series sound interesting, and even more so the games and the combat system seems to be pretty complex, which is cool. I mean, it's always nice to have like a high skill ceiling in a game that is not just about abusing mechanics, but it's also like that you have to have your own strategy to be able to know the environment and everything. This is something that I haven't come to appreciate in many games since I haven't played many like fighting games and stuff. But it certainly sounds like something worth giving a shot. Yeah, why not?
Yes, so I suppose that's all. Give me a second, I'll check on my
Yeah.
notes because,
All
well,
right.
my mind is kind of drawing a blank right now. So,
That's cool.
okay, so yeah, I suppose that's all.
Okay. Okay. Glad to be here today. What else? You're signing off, right? That's your catchphrase.
Yeah,
All right.
Shirtblade signing out,
All
and
right. Bye bye.
see ya. And now I'll have to
Thanks.
find
Thanks.
the stop recording button. Yeah, there it
All
is.
right. Okay.
So have a great one.